video about a Group One Bosco Espresso Machine. Now, I lived in Italy for 3 years. I was very fortunate to have the exposure to coffee on a daily basis and get to know espresso a little bit. Also, in all these shops, I noticed these guys were doing these lever machines. Always been a fan of a lever machine. Had a Europiccolo for about 10 years and knew in the spade of spades that I'd have to get one eventually. And I decided on one called the Bosco. This is the Group One edition of the Sorrento model, I guess. And you can have it customized however you like, which I've done on the outside here. When I was looking around, there wasn't a whole lot to see the guts of them. I'm kind of someone that likes to see the insides and outs, so we can just take a look. This comes standard. You can get a cup heater up top if you like. I chose to swap the hot water flush and the steam from what it comes stock to different sides. You can get trim and how you like it. I also got the bottomless portafilter here. Things to look at, here's your power button down here. It's pretty much on or off. This, when you initially get your system, you're gonna have to either plumb it in to your standard water line, or if you look on this side, I got it set up with a flow jet. It's fairly standard for standalone systems to use a flow jet. Just feeds right into the boiler up top. There's no need for kind of a pre-stage to let the water go in for fluctuations in pressure. Take a look at the boiler over here, from on top down. This is really what makes a Bosco. They make this all in-house. Mr. Bosco has been doing this for 50 years. I was lucky enough to see this get made, and from its infancy to where they helped deliver it to my house. So if you look down here, this is a pressure controller for it. It comes preset at about 1.4 bar. Found it was a little hot for the coffee, so I dialed it down to 1.25. It's fairly easy. You just take off that yellow cap and then you'll go and turn a revolution. I think it's one full revolution for 1/10 of a bar point. Come down here on the front side of it, using the light. I don't know if this is required here, but you've got, there's your pressure readout. You can easily, if you want to boost the pressure real quick and boost the temp, since it's a closed system, just let off a little steam, the boiler will activate and it'll bring it up. Over here is your water lever, or water amount rather, inside the boiler, and as long as you see that blurry bar there, you're good to go. It's thin without the refraction from the water. Now, one thing I like to talk about as well is the how it comes. So if you look down, I live abroad instead of in the States, but I knew one day I'd be back in the States. So I had this wired for 110. Most of the time it comes as 220, and if you want a 110, if you buy anything from Italy or overseas, specifically in Bosco, they'll give you the choice of whether you want it 110 or 220, just make sure you specify. Over here, obviously, being 220 would be the better for me now, but long term, it's I wanted 110, so I have to use a transformer. Now, this is peak rated at 2,000 watts. So overseas, if you use your watts, what is that? Watts equals volts times amp, I believe what it is. If you use that at 220 over here, I can get away on a lower amperage circuit because it's meeting the demand. Overseas, that's acceptable. Back in the States at 110, if I'm using 110, I'm going to need to ride this on a 20 amp circuit. It does come with exposed wires when you order this machine, so you're going to have to make that up to a 20 amp receptacle. I am cheating a little bit, running on a 15 through a 2,000 watt, and it hasn't given me any trouble yet. So I do secure it and on and off strictly when using it. So it might be a little on the high side, but that's a risk I take to get the coffee I want. All right, we'll put the lid back on and make some coffee. There we go. See, now it's waiting. There's a little bit of pre-infusion, nice and slow. Get up under there and watch this honey develop. Oh, that's heaven. See how much smoother it is, uniform and drip? Okay, so given the setup, I got my grinder in the kitchen, just ground up. I use a Vario 886. Nice midline, middle of the road grinder. Meets exactly what I need. Put on, tamp it out. And you need to get yourself a cup, don't you? So.
Me? Go Gators.
That's not the best for her. All right, so I forewent the cup warmer up top, so I just spray a little hot water in each time. Nice and easy, let that sit for a few minutes prior. It comes out piping. Get it out of there, nice and clean. And here we go. Let it infuse for 3 to 5 seconds. And I'll just watch the action. It's a piece of art. Just want to get all the sweet gravy off of it. Take a look at that crown, it's beautiful. So the soy milk always whips up a little differently there. And that's it in a nutshell. Is baby looking for a latte? She was, wasn't she?
I want a latte.
I can't do any of that fancy stuff. So that's just what you're gonna get.
You just did a lot of fancy stuff.
All right, that's the Bosco Group One. Highly recommend it. I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of basis and experience for other ones, so it's obviously gonna be a little biased, but it's a hell of a machine. It's built like a brick house, as they say, and I look forward to it. It's gonna be many more years of enjoyment. Hope this helps if you're in the market for one or just want to see how it operates. Cheers.